and hoots and boots. What's up, everyone? Happy Thursday. Welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every single day, coming at you live from our beautiful studio. I lied. Every single weekday from our studio. If you're new here, say hello. We have a fun, exciting show for you today. First time in Sin City Crypto history, we have a reporter on scene at Bitcoin Miami. We'll be checking in with him in a little bit. We're also talking about Ripple. Voyager customers, creditors, are going to start getting money. Also, Jordan Peterson said, Bitcoin is our only hope to fight against government control and the CBDC. We're going to discuss that. We have some on-chain metrics, Bitcoin, Filecoin listed as a security by the SEC, and much, much more. But first, I'd like to introduce you to my favorite co-host, Forrest. Hello, Forrest.
What's up?
How you doing, bro? Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, I think you cut out there for just a second. Yeah, I'm doing well. How about you?
My apologies. I'm good, man. I'm good. I just want to make sure you're feeling good today. I'm excited today. I know you're excited. We got our reporter on scene in Miami. We'll check in with him in a little bit. But first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us. What are your thoughts? Let's get right into it, right? Are we going to be at this 27K point without any charts? We're going to be at this 27K point. Are we going to be teetering here for the next, I don't know, month, 2 months until the FOMC minutes come out, until the next meeting? What are your thoughts? What are your just general market thoughts?
Yeah, so I don't have a crystal ball in terms of predicting where we're going to move up or down. I do have support and resistance levels mapped out so that if we do go down to those levels, I am a buyer. And I've got resistance levels mapped out that if we go to those, I'm a seller. I'm net bullish on crypto in general, but there are a lot of events happening and a lot of stuff going on in the news and related to sell pressure on Bitcoin and buy pressure on Bitcoin. Right? We had Tether, we've got I believe Voyager coming in with we're going to cover that news today. So yep. I will say if you look at the last two consolidation phases for Bitcoin from like 15 to 16K, and then once we popped up to like above 20K, those took about 50 to 60 days a piece, and we've been in this consolidation phase between 26 and 30K for about 50 to 60 days. So it certainly feels like we are due for a bit of a move here. So if we go down and tap 26K, we go down and tap even 23K. I'm a big buyer down at 23K. So I think you may get an opportunity to bid here. Otherwise, we may just start running.
Forrest, are you? I know you're a big DCA guy, but is there anything that can happen, a price level where, for Bitcoin, where you're just like, whatever I got on the sideline, I'm putting it all in here? Is it sub 20K? Is it 15K? Or are you sticking to it no matter what, DCAing in at certain levels that you have pre-mapped out?
No, for me, that's sub $1,000 ETH. If you can get ETH for under $1,000, for me, that's just like, we'll just dump it all in, right?
Okay.
And people will be worried about $500 or $300 ETH, just whatever. If you have a long enough time horizon, sub $1,000 ETH is, to me.
Do you have a specific number the same for Bitcoin?
I think it would probably be, for me, a little bit further down, so probably 10 to 12. 10 to 12. But that being said, I don't think we're headed there. I don't think we're headed to sub 1,000 ETH. I don't think we're headed to 12K Bitcoin anytime soon. But if something crazy happened and we did get those levels, I think it'd be a great time to bid.
I agree. Now, Rocco, you let us know when we're ready to check in with our on-the-field correspondent. In the meantime, let's go over the crypto market, see where Bitcoin is. Well, we already know where Bitcoin is because I already said it. It's at 27K. So the total crypto market cap is sitting at $1.12 trillion. Volume coming in at 31.5 billion. We have Bitcoin dominance at 46.4, ETH dominance at 19.3, and ETH gas again is high, 87 Gwei. Some of the trending coins, again, Pepe is trending. Now, there was a So there's been these exchanges have been doing these cryptic tweets, right? We had Coinbase doing the little blue dot that ended up being their base layer two. Recently, we've had them do a countdown. People are speculating they might be listing Pepe. What are your? I mean, Forrest, if you were to, it's not funny. If you were to guess, do you think Coinbase would or should list Pepe? We know what happened. They caught a lot of flack after they sent that email saying the meme was tied to an alt-right movement. They caught a lot of heat. A lot of people said they were shutting down their Coinbase accounts and deleting the app. Do you know anything about what this countdown is leading to? Do you think it's the listing of Pepe, which is what a lot of people are thinking? And should they do something like list Pepe? And you got to keep in mind as well for the viewers, especially in bear markets, an exchange like Coinbase, they make a majority of their money on transaction fees. And we know people are buying and selling Pepe. So would it be the right move?
Okay, so I think recently as like an hour ago, Coinbase actually did come out with like their announcement. Everyone's super disappointed. So it says the best of Coinbase just got better. Unlock 0 trading fees, a dedicated support team, boosted staking rewards, and exclusive benefits from partners with Coinbase One, all for $29.99 a month. This sounds like I'm reading out an ad because I am reading out an ad, but I'm not sponsored by Coinbase or anything.
Exactly what you're reading. Huh.
I'm sorry.
I said I got it on the screen. Exactly what you're reading.
Oh, you do? Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Perfect. So, I think this is what that I could be mistaken. Maybe they have something else up their sleeve. Everybody's super disappointed. I thought Coinbase One was already a thing. You're already supposed to get free trading fees with that, but I guess now they have like an NFT, a founding member NFT that you can mint in the shape of a rocket ship that's spinning. So, no, I don't. As far as Pepe goes, look, if it's something that would make them money, I believe they would list it. But right now, it's just down, and you got to think like from a market maker perspective. I personally think like either market makers got crushed on Pepe, or maybe they're around break even, or they were in it from the very start. What I mean by that is, Gemini is one of the largest owners of Pepe coin, right? Because you have to buy it to list it on your exchange. You have to provide the liquidity. So Coinbase, do they really want to buy? And it's lower now, but at the time it was over $1 billion market cap meme coin. Do they really want to buy all those tokens at over $1 billion valuation just to list on their exchange in a bear market when trade volume is low to begin with? That they're going to have it's going to take a long time for them to make their money back on that. So,
but can I argue though, Forrest? Can't I argue that there's been a crap load of trading volume, whether it's on DEXs, whether it's on Gemini? Wouldn't Coinbase want to share that because their model of making money, their revenue model is trading fees?
Yeah, so you got to think though. All right, the risk is all right. Let's say they take I don't know what a realistic amount would be, but let's say they spend $50 million, or the market makers that they work with spend $50 million on Pepe. The fees that they make from Pepe over the coming months and years needs to be greater than let's say 80% of that, because what if Pepe drops 80% from where it's at right now, right? It's at what's the market cap here? $655 million market cap. Yeah. If that drops down to $150 million market cap, it's completely realistic that it could. I'm not fudding Pepe. It's a meme coin. This thing could it's a month and a half old at the most, probably less than that. And it's a $646 million market cap. If I'm Coinbase, I want to invest $50 million in Pepe, which is do I think I'm going to make $50 million back on it over the course of the next year? There's a lot of risk, and there's a lot of risk that they could lose money on it if Pepe just drops off the face of the planet and sees another 80% downturn. Gemini and Binance, if they bought over $1 billion market cap, they're already down 40 to 50% on their Pepe buys. Right, they're sitting in a big hole. Yeah, they're making money market making, but they haven't made back 40 to 50%.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the volume here. This is on Uniswap, $3.3 million. in volume over the last 24 hours. And so when I look at something like that, and the ease of buying it on an exchange versus going to a DEX like Uniswap, it's a lot easier. It's a lot more practical for the average investor, especially those investing in meme coins. I don't know. For me, it's like you got your competitors listing it. Obviously, they listed it for business reasons. I'm sure they can give a crap less about Pepe, but I'm just like Coinbase. But then again, also Coinbase is under fire from the SEC, so we don't know how much of that has an influence on the decision not to list Pepe. Either way, meme coins and tokens that have no value, just understand you're literally gambling. You're literally gambling. Probably gonna lose all your money. I've been there. I'm sure Forrest has had a few of those where he's FOMO'd into a meme coin or something that's been pumping and lost his money. I mean, I don't know, Forrest, have you? I don't know. I'm kind of speaking for you here on your behalf.
Yeah. I mean, just I not even just meme coins, crypto in general. It's very, very volatile space.
Yeah.
If you get into crypto, you're gonna lose. There's going to come a time where you lose some money. Yep. It's inevitable.
Be prepared. All right, Rock, are we ready? Check in with our correspondent. All right, let's. Look who we have here. Well, hello, Robin. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, I don't know if you can hear us.
Robin. You gotta click the speaker icon there. He's on mute. Nope. You gotta click the speaker button. The mute on VMix call 2. He's in mute. No, Robin, can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Is that Crypto Lifer? What's up, my dude?
Yeah, what's up, brother? Yeah, so we're out here at Bitcoin Miami, ran into Lifer. I've been having a blast lately. We got Gareth over here.
Did you say ran into Lifer? Come on, you've been hanging out with him all weekend, bro.
I said, yeah, I did say ran into Lifer. My man's got a Bitcoin tie, though, looking fresh.
Why are you always looking sharp, Lifer? Are you trying to make us all look bad here or what?
Right here, we're at Bitcoin Miami. It's out of control. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. There's people making like all sorts of little 3D motion printing things. And my God, you could buy Bitcoin at every little kiosk and you could pay for Bitcoin and Bitcoin. I tell you, Michael Saylor's going to come out here and talk his nonsense and tell us more about Bitcoin. Just like you did when you were Michael Saylor last Halloween. It was amazing. How are you feeling today, Dave? How are you feeling? How's everything going?
Everything's great, man. I think Michael Saylor heard you because he's right behind you. He said, talk his nonsense. He wasn't too happy. I'm just kidding. He's not behind you.
You never know out here. It's that insane. Just saw Crypto Rand, jumping on by. We got Sheldon the Sniper. Last night was amazing. It was a meeting of the minds of the industry. I met Crypto Face. We met everybody, Tom Crowd. It was absolutely insanity out here. Almost, only thing is the Celtics lost last night, but what are you going to do? We're at Bitcoin Miami. And Celtics, you got to give one to Miami,
Celtics don't deserve to win. Hey guys, we've been hearing that Forrest and I were kind of talking about this before the show. We've been hearing that Bitcoin Miami this year is very small compared to what it was last year. Obviously, last year we were at
that's a bunch of hogwash. I've never heard anything. You got to get down here, boots on the ground. Those are just people writing for a bunch of clicks. Get out of here. You got to show up. I want to see you here on the next flight. Red eye it. Let's get it going.
Yeah, it is live and popping. It is not quite as big as last year, but this is still like a festival. I mean, it's got booths everywhere. They got giant Bitcoin inflatable. I don't know if you can see this, but there's like a giant Bitcoin back there.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting, like all the different things that they have out here. Tons of booths. We just got in here. Today's actually industry day. So tomorrow's general admission. We're going to have a lot more people tomorrow. Yeah, so do you have any on-the-fly TA you can do off of your head? I know you looked at charts before you got here.
Yeah, I mean, I got something in my... I could even open up an iPad or something. Very simple today. Symmetrical triangle. That's what we're looking at today. A double top last night. And we'll just give you some levels to watch for Bitcoin.
Yeah, we're going to do some phone TA here. Is that what we're doing?
Oh, wow. We took a dump, too. since I left the live stream. Nasty dump to the bottom of the pattern. So look, go to like the 8-hour time frame. We're basically in this symmetrical triangle here. Yeah. We're in this symmetrical triangle, okay? Like that. Then we make it smaller. And we're either going to break up. If we break up, we do have a measured move to about 29,005. We break down, we have a measured move to 24,755. You know? So what I said literally this morning was to open an insurance short with a stop loss right above this line on the other side of the symmetrical, or maybe above this line. See these two areas? That level is going to be 28,225 or about 27,574. The good thing about the insurance short is you don't have to risk a lot, right? And if we definitely double topped, which we did last night on the 1-hour time frame at this resistance level, you're looking for a bearish retest of the line right below the symmetrical triangle at about 26,666. I'll call it 2 quad sixes. You get a bearish retest there, you're likely to head to the target at 24,000. Should have my glasses on when I do this stuff too. 24,650. So it could get shady. They may bear trap it, bring it back up again. You're also looking at that low. You take out that low, you're in a downtrend. Right now, you could close a micro uptrend if you don't take out that low. So, you know, that's really what I'm looking at. So I would be short right now until Bitcoin can get above that resistance. Really looking for the 4-hour or the daily candle to close above 29,274. We don't get that, it's looking quite bearish to me. You know.
All right. We also ran into to Gareth last night. He invited us out to his house. He had an epic party last night here at the convention as well. Good to meet you in person finally.
Awesome to meet you too, buddy. This is a great event. Thanks for coming over last night, man. That was fun.
Dude, I mean, he had the who's there. He had Altcoin Daily, Tiffany Fung. It was a bash. You can go check out our Twitter, his Twitter. Check us out. What are you looking forward to here in Bitcoin Miami?
Oh, wow. So I think just seeing everyone, right? I mean, already it's been epic with meeting everyone. You know, I talked to everyone online, right? Just like you, right? We talked online, but to meet in person and to actually hang out and not necessarily make it all about business is actually really, really nice. So same thing with looking forward to meeting like people coming in the next couple of days and just kind of hanging out a little bit.
Awesome. And then David, you got anything you want to say?
Gareth, I know, you're never shy. You never shy away from expressing your opinion, whether people agree with it or not. Apparently, people are calling you Bareth Soloway, because you've been saying the market's going down. Has that changed at all? With the looming recession and what's going on, do you still believe? Do you think the lows are in for Bitcoin, or do you think we're going lower? And what needs to happen for you to change your mind and be like, all right, we're starting a bull market, or whatever the case may be? Is there certain indicators you're looking for, or a change in sentiment? What are some things? You're going to talk us through that if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, it's more looking at the macro picture and then also looking at the charts, right? So as of now, the 30,500 level, we tested it, we couldn't break through. That's the big level. Like if there's one level every investor should watch, that's the level right there. If we get above it, then I actually think you can make the argument that maybe the low is in at 15.7. But again, for me, it's a chart thing, and probability still, for me at least, signal there's still a decent chance of moving lower and even retesting or possibly going lower in the crypto prices. Especially with the speculation. I think that's one of my biggest concerns is when you see these meme coins running and these, shit coins, if you will, that's not the sign of a bottom. That's a sign of speculative gambling. And gambling, I've never seen a market bottom when there's gambling like that personally. So
fair enough. People have been giving our friend Forrest some flack too. They call him Forrest the Bear because bears like the forest. And so what I want people to understand is these guys put a lot of time in to look at charts, to look at metrics, and the conclusion they come to is a conclusion they come to, whether you agree with it or not. You just take it for what it's worth. And so that's awesome.
And I was just gonna say, and that's the key too, is to understand that I've been wrong and I could be wrong this time. There's always that possibility. I've been wrong plenty of times in my career, right? So it's all about, for me, probabilities. And even when you have 70-80% chance of being right, that still means 2 to 3 times out of every 10 you're wrong. Right. But you are right that many times, you're in the Hall of Fame as a trader, right? So I mean, that's the key. And just people have to understand is that for me, it's a level-based market, right? If we break this level, then that's bullish. If we come down here, that's bearish. You have to, as a trader, be maneuverable, and that ultimately makes you more money.
Fair enough. Also, Jimmy wants to know, do you have a man bun?
Yeah.
Damn, how'd you see that, Jimmy? Jimmy's got he's got the eyes of, man, I thought he was just something, but yeah, he does. Guys,
I think it actually makes me stand out here more.
Does it? Awesome, man. Well, thanks for hopping in, guys. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
I don't think so. We got Lifer and then Gareth, and so I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of the conference. I'll probably check in with you one more time before we sign out. So yeah, patch us in maybe like 30 minutes before you're done.
Say, everybody, no matter how you feel, what's going on, remember you are the opportunity. Just like Gareth said, if you stick like it has to go one way, you're not gonna be able to short the market.
Oh,
Make sure you're the coin in your wallet, like not US Tether, not like you be the coin and you'll find opportunity. If you're open-minded, you can short the market and make money today or tomorrow, any day. If you're closed-minded, you're going to be stuck in a bias and you're likely to get wrecked over and over again. You got to realize that, and that's what, like, you'll give an analysis and someone will be like, well, you were bearish 3 days ago. And like you and me would be like, well, we bearishly retested the level that we couldn't hold. So like, yeah, now I'm bearish. Or we went below a 200 SMA. Now I'm bearish, And remember, the 200 SMA on the 4 hour, pretty easy pickings. You get a 4 hour candle closing above the 200 SMA, open to short with a stop loss on the other side. The same way with longs. I just back tested that last 4 to 5 years on multiple assets. You got like a 60 to 70% win rate if you just hold your horses, and just use a trailing stop loss and don't be greedy. Take what you can, man. That's like a really simple strategy out there. If you're just so right now, until we get above the 200 on the 4 hour, I don't see, we can't walk into a bull market. It's not going to happen,
All right. Well, thank you guys. Also, we got a debate crypto.
Uh-oh. What's good? What's good? What's good? What is it? Is it just us, or we got Dave on the other side somewhere?
It's
You got me and Forrest.
and all of our live viewers.
Oh, we got the whole crew.
Yeah. So
What's going on?
What's up,
Hey,
guys?
listen,
How
we're
you
out here
doing?
at the Bitcoin conference trying to figure out mining, trying to figure out Bitcoin mining.
That's right.
So doing something a little bit different.
Doing some
Careful,
research,
they
yeah.
might tax you.
Careful, they might tax
They might
us.
tax us.
Oh,
Well, dude,
we don't taxes. Voting accident. I don't know about taxes.
Just make sure you cover it up real good.
Ledger's in trouble right now.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well,
anything you guys are excited about here?
Yeah, mostly just the Bitcoin mining stuff. I'm really doing some research on some development that's happening right now, the bear market. Dude, you got to build ways and adapt on what you can, change in the market right now to start making some passive income. And Bitcoin mining is looking really interesting. The machine cost versus value. It looks like an interesting opportunity right now. So
Yeah,
definitely
for sure.
doing research on
For
that.
sure. Yeah, definitely getting into the Bitcoin mining. And then we've got a lot of stuff going on just all over the place, just business opportunities. And there's a ton of great minds in the space. We were having a discussion earlier about some of the wallets. We were talking about Ledger and what's going on with them. And we're like, wait a minute, there's got to be a solution here, because if indeed the government is what's pushing to make this Ledger action happen, which I believe that I can't imagine that there's anything else that's pushed that, someone has to step in. Somebody has to say enough's enough and allow, people to be able to BYOB, be your own bank, like for real. So looking forward to seeing what that looks like for sure.
same here.
All right. Well, I'll let you guys get back to your show.
Thanks, bro.
Everybody, thanks for hanging out, and we'll patch you back in a little bit.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Rob. All right. Before we move forward, I would like to give a big shout out to channel sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. Cam's Blue Wire Tech provides your business with scalable IT solutions so you can focus on new revenue streams for your business. If you'd like more information, visit bluewiretech.com or simply click the link in the description of this video. So big shout out to them. Thank you so much. Now, Forrest, they brought up Ledger, so I'm gonna we're gonna maneuver towards there. Okay, so Ledger came out. They've been on what is it when everything's PR control, or that's not the right word, but
That's great, though.
Rocco, can we mute Robin because his call's coming in? Thank you. So they've been on this PR control. They're trying to control the narrative, and Ledger support came out and said, well, we've always been able to go in backdoor if we really wanted to, and you trusted us up till now. What's changed? yesterday, I want to give credit where credit's due. James from Invest Answers, he brought up the point that Mica just passed in the EU. Ledger is a French company. Connecting the dots there. What are your thoughts? Is Ledger too far gone? Do you still trust them? It's been a couple days since the thing is out, and seeing their response and other people bringing up possible issues with it. Where do you stand today, right now? Do you still trust Ledger to hold your cryptocurrencies?
Look, it's still developing. If you want the utmost safety, Ledger has in the past been that name that has been largely recommended. If Ledger can do it, you start to wonder, can Trezor do it as well? What other hardware wallets could potentially pull a seed phrase out and be exploitable? So to my knowledge, now the ultimate form of security is a paper wallet. For anybody who's paper wallets used to be super popular back in the day. Obviously, they're not very good for transacting and they're not really good if you're trying to move money around constantly. But if you're just trying to store Bitcoin securely, or you're just trying to secure a set amount of crypto and hodl, then they're probably the best option right now. And that's just taking your seed phrase, writing it down on a piece of paper or engraving it on some metal and keeping it somewhere safe, whether it's a fireproof safe or a safe deposit box, right, at a bank, if you trust a bank's safe deposit box system. But this is a problem. It's hard to sit here and defend Ledger. We talked about this yesterday and the day before a little bit. And the key piece of this, the key piece was whether or not the actual Ledger device could be updated with firmware to pull out that seed phrase. And if the answer to that is yes, that's a huge problem. So yeah, I mean, I'll be looking to move stuff off of Ledger. It just sucks because what's the best option right now, especially if you're trying to do like some stake that I don't necessarily know that Trezor is any better. Maybe they also have that same capability. I would imagine they very likely do, but obviously they're going to be keeping their mouths shut about it.
Well, Trezor Trezor just integrated with Coin, I believe it was CoinJar, where it's looking to help governments blacklist wallets. So are they facing pressure from governments? I don't know what's going on, man, but there's got to be a better solution. I was looking at one name I'm going to throw out there is Ellipal or Elliptil, whatever. Apparently it's supposed to be air gapped. It's supposed to not. The thing with Ledger, though, is it holds the most tokens, right? It's got the most, God, I'm like, can't find my words today. Support for all these support. It's got the most support for these tokens. And so that's why people use it. Ledger Live, the interface is great. You can buy, sell, and swap within the app. And so for me, it's like, super damn, convenient. Majority of mine is across multiple ledgers, majority of my crypto. Now I got to sit there and try to find something else. I also have a Trezor, I have an Arculus, but Arculus is kind of limited. So we're in the spot now where, but here's the thing, there's going to be a cream that rises to the top. And what is one person's fault is another person's gain, or one person's loss. And Ledger, in my opinion, completely dropped the ball. And so who's going to be there to pick up the pieces? It'll be interesting. But Forrest, Bitcoin and crypto is dumping. Bitcoin is down 2.2% over the last 1 hour. So 26,488. Just taking a quick look at some liquidations here. We have $15 million in Bitcoin being liquidated over the last hour, with 99% of those being longs. 9 million in ETH, and those are the two biggest ones. I know we got some kind of on-the-fly TA on the phone from Lifer. He threw some levels out there, but what are the charts saying? And obviously, it's easier to follow along when we have a chart pulled up. Why are we dumping? Have we stopped at the level of support that we should have stopped at? Because it kind of seems like 26.4 dip down there. Now we're starting to slowly make our way back up. Let's take a look at the chart if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's throw on my screen share real quick. So we're looking at Bitcoin on the daily here. We've got our short margin pressure levels. And if you remember yesterday, we actually kind of briefly talked about this wick down to 25.8. And we said, what was once a wick may become a candlestick. That's the old rhyme. So looks like we may be
Wait, what's the rhyme again? I missed it. Sorry.
What was once a wick will become a candlestick, right?
Oh,
So
never heard that one.
The idea is that you get these big wicks upwards, and they're showing you, where price action is going directionally, right?
Cool.
So this wick down here would eventually, be filled in and retested with actual candlesticks rather than just short term. Just the short-term wick on the daily. So 25.8 still the level. I mean, look, we're just sitting in a range, and I believe the range is a little bit clearer when you throw on the long and the short margin pressure levels. So obviously the bottom of the range is around 25.8 to 26, right? And the top of the range is this 3x long level here. So we didn't even make it all the way back up to our midpoint of 28.2. I'm of the opinion that as long as we're in this range, we're fine. This is 26K. And I actually want to show you guys this. This is really important. It might take me half a second to pull it up. Actually, not even that long. We've already got it pulled up. 3 month. The liquidity here for the liquidity profile for Bitcoin and high block. Look at this strip of liquidity that we have right above 25K. This is at 25.4, 25.2, and 25.6. And we know we came down to that 25.8 level. We have all this liquidity down here, and that was also the prior. Let's get rid of all that. That was also our prior high of our range, 25.2. Right? That was the range high that we were previously dealing with. I'll throw that on there. Right? So all we're really looking at is a very simple back test of all of that liquidity in high block, right? Our prior range high, and we want to see that hold. That's what a lot of traders want to see hold. If we re-enter this range in a meaningful way, we have plenty of support around 24.5. But if we really, we stick down here and we don't recover, like that would be a bullish scenario if we spend a little bit of time under this line and then recover and get back up above it. But if we stick below here and start using this as resistance, and then getting down to 24K, getting down to 23.9, that's bearish, right? And we're looking at 23.2K as our next big support level. We've got margin pressure levels to show that, as well as the actual, high block liquidity profile. So oftentimes this liquidity just acts like a magnet, right? So right now the magnet is pulling us towards 25.2, and the question is whether or not we're going to get a strong bounce off of 25.2, or if we're going to take it out and creep into this big pocket of liquidity all the way down to 23. Right? 23, you can see all of the liquidity down there. That's where I would be a buyer. That's where I'd like to bid. Do I want Bitcoin to go down there? Not necessarily, but if it does, I'm ready to bid there. I think you can also realistically be a buyer at 25 to 25.2 and look for a shorter term swing trade. Otherwise, we're pretty much uncapped to the top side here, just ranging right all the way up to 30K. So if we go back over here, our range really isn't capped. The range that we're currently in, the top or the cap of that range is all the way up at 30K. 30.5 was the level that Gareth was talking about, but just in this general vicinity. And right now we are just simply ranging. We're just simply ranging. We could do this for a little while longer, and wouldn't be surprised. But these are the levels you want to be paying attention to: 30 to 30.5, right? You just call it 30 to 31, and then 25. Right? Now we break down below 25, that's bearish. Now, if we break down below 25 and we're just sitting at 24.5, and then we reclaim, then we flip bullish. We flip long because we've re-entered the range, right? But that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin here. Just these pretty wide ranges. Don't get too freaked out just because we're approaching the bottom of a range. That's actually the best time to be looking to buy. You buy the support, and then just stop loss and cut it if we re-enter the range. So,
or is that
pretty straightforward there, honestly?
Yeah. Does that kind of look like if you go back to your chart real quick, if you don't mind, does that kind of look like a pretty big bull flag there, starting from the bottom of that sharp V-shaped recovery? Yeah.
And we know those. Like that.
Yeah, we know those typically break to the upside, I believe. Well, not I believe. I know they break to the upside, but It'll be interesting to see. And again, this is on the daily. And so, the higher out you go on the time frames, the more solid the patterns are from my personal experience. But guys, we have 222 people watching. We only have 81 likes. What? Come on, man. You guys know what happens when we get likes in. A few things happen. One, people come into the stream. We grow our community. Two, people find our channel. If you like the content, you're here. Guess what? Other people would like the content as well, but they'll never know. You don't like the video and bring them in here. And also, Pandora's box opens up and free stuff comes out of it via Jimmy once we hit a certain amount of likes. So help us out. If you're watching the stream, click the like button. That's all we ask. Thank you so much. All right. Now, Forrest, we have, I'm going to go over the fear and greed index real quick. Sitting at 51, so neutral. We were at as high as 58 last month, which is considered greed. So greed, meme coins, people 10, 100xing, and now I don't know, are they leaving? Is it more macro like Gareth kind of said? But here's something interesting before we move on to altcoins. Bitcoin well into bear market recovery phase based on-chain metrics from Glassnode. I know Glassnode is something I use, something you use as well. On-chain metrics suggests that the Bitcoin bear market could be over, according to Glassnode. They're, quote, recovering from a Bitcoin bear signal combines 8 different metrics that analyze 4 primary factors. 1, is a market trading above key price models? 2, have there been any upticks in on-chain activity? 3, is the market realizing profits? And 4, the level of long-term holder supply dominance. All of the signal's 8 metrics currently look bullish for Bitcoin and indicate the top crypto asset could be in the early stages of a bull market. This is kind of what the chart looks like. I know, Forrest, you have the chart as well. Do you want to pull that up and maybe talk us through this? Because there's a lot going on here. And do you agree with the assessment?
Yeah. Yeah, let me share my screen here. So I'm in Glassnode, and I am not an expert on any one of these specific indicators. Glassnode is great because it does give you like all of these individual documentation points. Spot prices trading above key pricing models, increasing momentum in network utilization, market profitability, trends in supply distribution are positive. But what's interesting to look at is the confluence between all of these indicators they're a really good signal for a macro trend, right? And there's different indicators and things that you can use to identify a macro trend. You can just look at the price action. I like using the easy bands. This is mostly like on-chain. This is like the on-chain data. So this is not necessarily technical analysis. This is not fundamentals. This is like the on-chain analysis. And you have like 4 on-chain signals that are flashing macro bullish, showing us that the macro trend is up. And if you look at historically, yes, you can have these periods of time. And I know kind of, where I have put my cursors a little bit and like it blocks some of the chart. Like, yes, these flashed bullish and then we had this drawdown. But it caught like when this started flashing bullish, it caught the bulk of the trend, right? The macro trend. So this isn't something that I would trade based off of just ape long because these flashed positive. But what I would say is that this is showing us that the macro trend for Bitcoin from an on-chain perspective is now a bullish trend. We could still have bumps along the road like we did last cycle. Maybe it'll be a much cleaner rise like it was in 2016 and 2017. I would imagine with everything going on in the world regarding, banking collapses and geopolitical stuff and regulation and Mt. Gox and Tether, all that, it's probably going to be a bumpy road. Is my guess. But what's really useful about this particular indicator or this particular view in Glassnode is it really helps you identify the macro picture. The macro picture is now the trend is bullish according to on-chain data. So that's what this is telling you.
Awesome, Forrest. Thank you so much. Now, I believe Rocco was cueing me. We have some breaking news from Miami, or what's going on here, Rocco? Let's patch our reporter in here. What you got? Oh, you got it. He's muted. There we go. Yeah. Hold on, Robin. Hold on 1 second. Let's unmute you here. Nope, he's muted. Yep. You gotta click the speaker button. All right, Robin, speak.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up, man? What you got, bro? What do you interrupt? This better be good, man.
All right. So I found a party bus, and so you know how Big Rod works.
Of course, you found a party bus.
Yeah, that's right. So I got Peter here. So what is this party bus about? What do we got here?
Yeah, so we're PubKey NYC. We're New York's first Bitcoin bar, and we partner with Bitcoin Mag, Marty Bent, and Truth of the Commoner. We're going to be doing some podcasts out of this bus, as well as just a place to lounge and hang out and have a good time.
All right. Well, I want to know what's going on inside the bus. So we're gonna take a quick look in here.
What?
I mean, this thing's a vibe up in here. It's supposed to be
That's
packed
dope.
later on today, but I'm probably gonna be back here hanging out, having some drinks, doing my thing. Anyways, I'll let y'all go.
Wow, thanks for that, Robin. That is a pretty cool bus, though. That's a pretty cool bus.
Later, guys.
Nothing against the pub busky guy, but Rocco's like, Robin's got someone. I'm like, oh my God, it's a Michael Saylor. He's like, I got a party bus. I'm like, that's Robin for you. You can take the man out of Vegas. You can't take Vegas out of the man, I guess. Now, all these, I'm a very structured guy. And today there's been an interruption here. So if I'm a little all over the place, guys, I apologize. But we're going to get through this. We're going to have a lot of fun. Let's move on to some altcoins, see what the biggest gainers and losers of the day are. Moving over to the crypto bubbles. Hex is currently up 10.9% over the last 24 hours. Render token up 6%. Kava and Synthetics, those are up. Some of the biggest losers. You have Near Protocol, Bitcoin Cash, which I don't know why. Who uses Bitcoin Cash? So it's a little odd. And then some of the top 10 here, we have ETH coming in at 1,770. Actually, let me refresh this. ETH $1,779. My apologies. BNB still over 300 bucks. I thought for sure with all the Binance FUD, everything going on, I thought for sure, we know Binance holds a lot of the BNB token. I was like, they're seeing mass withdrawals. Are they going to have to sell some of their BNB, or are they going to convert it to satisfy withdrawals? Man, BNB's held over 300 bucks through all of it. So pretty impressive. XRP saw a nice rally on the news of the Hinman documents, the SEC losing that motion. That is still up 9% over the last week, even though it's taken a 2% drawdown over the last 1 hour. Cardano still under 40 cents. Doge, Solana, and Polygon Matic rounding out the top 10. Now, let's move on to what the theme of today's thumbnail was, and that is CBDCs, government control, and how Jordan Peterson believes that Bitcoin is our one and only savior. Now, we're going to start here with Richard Hart. I said this yesterday. Like Richard Hart, hate Richard Hart, love Richard Hart, what he does, but the man is smart. He's one of the smartest people in our space. He understands the space. He understands how blockchain works. So he's a smart guy. And he tweeted this yesterday. Central bank digital currencies, what could go wrong? Well, they could just program in your meat rationing limit and your fuel limit and your candy limit and your electricity limit and your visiting friends limit. And he quote tweets a picture of this article. New York to track residents' food purchases and place caps on meat, which is served by public institutions. Now, we know the whole thing as far as cattle is bad for the environment. They emit a lot of CO2. So I've been speaking on this for months now. CBDC is giving control, monetary control, and bye-bye to privacy over to the government. Okay, so that's what Richard Hart tweeted. And this is the article from about Jordan Peterson. Bitcoin is the only alternative to a CBDC. Famous Canadian psychologist and political commentator Jordan Peterson believes Bitcoin is the only viable monetary alternative in a future world dominated by CBDCs. Now, he says a future world dominated by CBDCs. You have not over 90% of the countries in this world are at least looking to pilot a CBDC program. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? To have full autonomous control and insight into people's spending and people's money. Why wouldn't a government want to do that? Ask yourself that question. So Bitcoin is and he goes on to say, Bitcoin is the only alternative I can see to a centralized digital bank currency, which he predicted will be foisted. What is that word? Foisted? Have you ever heard that word, Forrest? Foisted.
Jordan Peterson has a phenomenal vocabulary.
But I've never even heard of that word.
Top tier vocabulary.
Foisted.
Yeah,
Rocco,
word.
can we do a dictionary search on what the hell foisted means, please? Thank you, sir. Has been foisted.
I think it means like thrust upon us at any moment.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe crypto potato. Someone was being a couch potato and meant to put hoisted, but put foisted. Anyways, Peterson's blockchain foist to impose an unwelcome, unnecessary person or thing. Okay. Don't let anyone foist inferior goods on you. Okay. So where the... Okay. So it is an actual word, and it does mean unnecessary imposing. So Peterson, thank you, Rocco. Peterson noted that he'd be interested in using Bitcoin as a form of permanent, incorruptible information storage to develop a blockchain corpus of general knowledge questions for running IQ tests and prevent people from gerrymandering the measurement of general cognitive ability. Peterson has previously praised Bitcoin as a way of combating tyrannical control imposed by CBDCs. Forrest, is Bitcoin the solution to a CBDC? Free money, decentralized, don't care what you do with it, don't care who you are, your ethnicity, your race, who you voted for, who you donated money for, or is there a better alternative, or is there nothing that can rival a CBDC?
Yeah, so this is a topic that I have, like in the crypto community. Like I guess my opinions are unpopular, but I try to be realistic. Like I try to look at things and try to be as realistic as possible. And you talk about a world where Bitcoin is used as not just a store of value, which I can see, I can recognize. But when you start using it as transactional value, as a peer-to-peer cash system, that's where, for me, the argument for Bitcoin breaks down a little bit. And I think I'm in line with, like, I'm very anti-CBDC. I do think that blockchain technology in some form or fashion is the alternative and the solution. I don't think from a technical perspective, from a tech perspective, we're there yet with Bitcoin in particular. And I just say that because we recently saw, and we're seeing right now, the speculation on these ordinals and BRC20 tokens and SRC20 tokens on Bitcoin has created this 300,000 plus transaction backlog of the Bitcoin network, and transaction fees spiked to $30. That's fine if you have a lot of money. But if you're somebody who's making $800 a week, right? Like every time you get your paycheck or every time you're trying to make a transaction or buy something, that $30 transaction fee is not going to cut it. So you're essentially not able to use the network. And then even a $1 transaction fee, if you're trying to buy something small, is just, it's not, if you're trying to buy a meal, buy a steak, whatever it is. So that's a problem. And then everybody touts the Lightning Network. And you talk about Strike, right? Strike, I believe, is the leading Lightning Network app, which in its current form is a bank. It is a bank. When you send them your Bitcoin, they are sending it to a bank called Prime Trust LLC. And you have the same problem with centralization, where how the US government can go to Prime Trust LLC, seize all your Bitcoin, take it, freeze it, do whatever it is, subpoena them, you get your information. Like that is a problem to me. So like, as it stands right now, I don't see Bitcoin as the peer-to-peer cash solution. If we see layer 2 scalability solutions that are decentralized, maybe Stacks is one of them, maybe it's currently being built, I'm open to the idea of it being Bitcoin. But I think like this idea that like Bitcoin right now is ready to be the answer to CBDCs it's technically, it's just not there yet. And I'm not, and a lot of people are like, well, what could be that? And, I'm not even going to bring up alternatives because, each of them have their own issues. Like, again, it's just it's a game of trade-offs. You have all of these blockchains making different trade-offs with decentralization, security, throughput, robustness, and stability. And there's no one, in my opinion, that is perfect for tackling this solution at this moment in time. So I want to I'm pro Bitcoin. I'm pro decentralization. I'm pro blockchain, but Bitcoin's not ready to just be used to buy steak, right? Say a steak dinner yet. It's just not, in my opinion.
Forrest, one of our community members, Abu Rai, said privacy coins are the only real solution to CBDCs.
I would say, look, in like Monero and Zcash, Monero in particular, like they're going to be regulated against very heavily. But if you really want to go down that path of CBDC resistance and like true fungibility, right? You get into this argument with Bitcoin that Bitcoin is technically non-fungible in the sense that you can isolate certain Bitcoin that's been involved in transactions in the past and say, oh, that type of Bitcoin was used for a shady transaction, whereas XMR cannot be. XMR, Monero, and Zcash cannot be. So, look, I am pro the privacy coin argument. Right now, I mean that it may very well be the best solution that we have.
Then Forrest, do you believe that privacy coin investing in and of course none of this is investment or financial advice? Does that mean that it might be good to look at investing in and expanding your portfolio and to include privacy coins like Zcash, like Monero? Like, is that something you're personally doing?
This is tough. Yes, this is a tough question because you're balancing personal beliefs, which can be subject to bias, with investing, which should be unemotional and unbiased. And you get into this argument of like, I am anti-government control and I'm pro-decentralization and I'm pro-privacy. But then you look at realistically from an investment perspective, the roadblocks that something like Monero and Zcash face and how heavily they're going to be regulated against. You look at that when you start to form an investment thesis around how is the price of this investment or this token going to appreciate, you have some roadblocks. It's not clean. It's going to be a battle. I believe we're already seeing this imposition of power, and that article was a perfect example of what we're potentially facing, where the government's going to want to ration you and control you and control what you can or can't spend money on. But they're also going to be fighting privacy coins, to put it quite bluntly. So from an investment angle, maybe it's really hard to form a thesis around. But I'm not. At some point or another, we're going to get a privacy coin narrative for sure. I think at one point or another, Monero and Zcash will have big runs. But when that is difficult to time, in my opinion.
Yeah, you mentioned investments and personal bias. I kind of disagree. I feel like I have a couple bags where it's more a personal, like I really like the project. I know Rob does. There's people who hold on to a certain stock no matter what it does because they like investing in the company, whether it's Tesla, Apple, whatever the case may be. But to have that and to see an actual use case or to see a path forward as to why these coins might be adopted, obviously it's your money, you watching, your investment, whatever you want to do. Don't just invest money because someone told you it's a good idea. Always do your own research and kind of make those decisions on your own. But I think that's something that we're going to have to just come to terms with. Like, I hate CBDCs, but they're coming, right? They're coming. And that is why I believe they're trying to halt crypto. Part of the reason trying to halt crypto in its tracks because it kind of goes against, unless you completely ban cryptocurrency and the only currency people are allowed to transact in or use is a CBDC, there's going to be an outlet, and they're like, okay, if we launch a CBDC and here's an outlet, and we know a majority of people, you have governors and you have politicians speaking out against a government-backed currency. If the politicians are doing that, imagine the average person, the average worker, the average investor. So as long as there's an exit road or a release valve there for you to exit that CBDC, I think it's something that they're going to be like, well, what's the point? But what's eventually going to happen is if you're a low to middle income earner and you get a tax return or you get benefits or you get Medicaid or you get Medicare or you get WIC or you have a child tax return or whatever, those are all eventually going to be paid through a CBDC. Like there is zero doubt. Anything the government gives you, any money that comes from the government employees, anyone that has government contracts, those are all going to be paid with the CBDC in the future. And as the article I showed earlier with the whole meat rationing thing, like I know that kind of sounds funny, but that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. You guys understand that the Fed can literally airdrop money into a wallet and say you have 2 weeks to spend it, and you can only spend it here, 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 or you can only spend it on goods, you can only spend it on services. But I want to pay my debt off. Nope, we got to spur the economy or else the money's gone. Like that is literally a possibility, and I think more than likely a probability. So if you want more information on CBDC, we did do a CBDC video on our channel, so go check that out after it's done. Staying on CBDCs, but throwing in a little bit of Ripple in here. Breaking news, Ripple unveils solution for a CBDC. Ripple has announced the launch of its Ripple CBDC platform. The platform is designed to provide central banks, governments, and financial institutions with a seamless solution for issuing, managing, and distributing central bank digital currencies and stable coins. It also enables issuers such as central banks, monetary authorities, commercial banks to manage the full life cycle of their fiat-based digital currency, from minting and distribution to redemption and destruction, all in a highly secure manner, taking advantage of the XRP ledger built-in multi-signing capabilities. Forrest, XRP has been given this moniker of a banker's coin. Looks like they're kind of the leading solution for CBDCs. Do you feel good that a company that's in our space, Ripple, a top 10 project, is kind of leading that charge? Or do you see it as a negative? Like, because you can play both sides. You can say, well, at least it's one of us in the midst of it, and we at least have some insight into what's happening or some say on how these are ran. Or is it something like that goes against everything crypto stands for? Why is a top 10 project even helping a CBDC go forward? Kind of what side do you land on?
Yeah, it's look, everyone kind of roots for Ripple and the SEC lawsuit in court case, but then turn around and do this, and you realize, like, is Ripple really on the side of the average crypto guy, like you or I? Are they just fighting for survival? They're fighting the SEC because not for the crypto space, but for themselves. Look, I think CBDCs are inevitable. And if you can, at the end of the day, you want to, as an individual, look out for yourself and be able to be financially independent from the CBDC system. And if you view CBDCs as being inevitable, like I do, there's going to be, a couple of plays that I think are going to benefit a lot from the rise of CBDCs. Probably XRP, probably Quant Network. Those are the two big ones that I see. So I personally don't have any issue with making money off of those plays, and then taking those profits and putting them into something more decentralized. But yeah, it's tough. I'm not the biggest fan of Ripple and XRP to begin with, but honestly is not a fan of CBDCs as I am. This is probably bullish for XRP, right? If they're going to be the leading CBDC solution. So it's kind of 6 one way, half a dozen. It's a double-edged sword for sure.
Yeah, I was on Good Morning Crypto, and they brought it up. They're like, look, love it or hate it, CBDCs are coming. Love it or hate it, looks like XRP Ripple is going to be leading the way. At least try to make some money on it. So I guess, but I think right. We're planning on checking in with our correspondent down in Miami. Looks like Robin has found his best friend, a giant inflatable Bitcoin balloon. Robin, how are you doing?
I am amazing.
Wow.
You see this giant Bitcoin behind me?
I do see it. Yes, I noted that before you came on. Yes.
I was actually asked to patch in because we are low on the likes. Where are the likes? So do us a favor, hit the like button. If you're new, say hello so I can drop an hola back at you. Real quick, I do want to say to all of you watching from Bitcoin Miami, hola! Welcome to
Have you been
Bitcoin Miami.
okay, let me ask you this question. I can only imagine you walking around that entire place and spazzing out and Tourette'sing olas everywhere. Is that kind of what you've been doing?
Man, you know, I ran into a few people that speak Portuguese, and so my olas just came out naturally. It was like a normal conversation ola. I was like, hola. And so
Not sure what that is.
no, there's a lot of cool stuff. There's a big mining area over here too. I'm to go check that out. But
Yeah, Rob, why
I'm
don't
actually-
you Rob, if you get a chance to get one of these bigger miners, I'd love to maybe get their take on what they plan on doing if this 30% tax comes in or if there's a moratorium. I think that'd be great. If you find someone who's willing to talk about that on camera, obviously you would have to ask them first. Please be more, we'd love to have him live and kind of maybe answer that one question. Like, would you guys pick up and leave the US? Are you just going to bite the bullet and pay the 30% fee on the tax?
Yeah, I actually, on the way in here, I was hanging out with some of the guys from Core Scientific, one of the largest publicly traded mining companies.
Now went bankrupt.
I think they currently have the largest hash rate. But, I got some contact info. Maybe we'll set something up. Definitely feel like we're lacking on the mining coverage. So something I think we should get a little more of. Anyways, I'm going to get back to the festivities here. I'm actually going to sign off for the day, put this camera stuff away. But I just want to give a shout out to the chat and center community. And hola, adios.
Peace. Hey, listen, bro. What if you run into Michael Saylor or Jack Mallers? You got to keep that camera ready, babe.
Man, I will turn the camera back on. Don't worry.
That's right. Okay.
I don't think it's his industry day. I don't think he's really. I guess he is
yeah.
industry, but
Yeah.
All
right. Let him know
this week.
if you run into Michael Saylor, tell him the fake Michael Saylor would like to have a word with him, and he'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Thanks, Rob.
All right, brother.
All right. Take care.
Later.
All right. That's pretty fun having someone down there in Miami and being able to check in. Pretty awesome. We'll be doing the same thing tomorrow, guys. So, you never know. I'm telling you, you never know. Tomorrow is the first day of general admission. The largest speakers are going to be speaking there. You never know who this man is going to run into. You might get a nice little surprise, nice treat. All right, let's keep this thing moving. We have news. If you're a Voyager creditor, payouts should begin on June 1st, says the creditors committee. Says if you had any money locked on Voyager because of their bankruptcy. But if you watched our channel, we covered this about a week prior to them shutting down. And I know we have at least 2 community members who came forward and said that they got their money out a few days prior. And so to those of you, congratulations. So if you're watching, hopefully none of you watching here have any money locked down here. But if you do, seems like you're going to be getting about 37%. And I think the number's down here. 35% of your total that you had in your deposits, you're going to get that back. So about $1.33 billion in total. Later distributions could see users recover up to 63%, depending on the outcome of the FTX litigation. We know there was a big, massive loan that was lent to FTX and Alameda. They're trying to claw that money back from them. It's like one bankruptcy court or one bankruptcy estate paying another one to pay back users that they all screwed over. It's a complete shit show. But at least you get 35% back. I know it's not 100%, but I mean, got to look at the glass half full, I guess. I mean, this could have gone a lot worse. What are your thoughts on this, Forrest? You kind of agree like 35% is better than nothing, or kind of what are your thoughts? And, with people that have had money on Voyager and the creditors kind of being thrown around, Binance, FTX is buying and Binance is buying, well, Binance is not buying, well, Binance is buying. And then, so they've been kind of ran through the ringer here. We're finally getting some, a settlement here, 35%. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are that it is what it is. If you're a creditor, you really don't have a lot of say in what you get. It's a really important lesson for people who did get caught up in Voyager and Celsius and BlockFi and FTX, as well as people who were lucky enough or fortunate enough to avoid that. Really important lesson in self-custody. And this is why people are so upset with Ledger right now, because the alternative to keeping your funds with any of these institutions that have lost their consumers' money or their customers' money is that the alternative is to keep it on a Ledger device and self-custody. And now people are really upset with Ledger because there may be a vulnerability. So at the end of the day, it's just an incredibly important lesson in self-custody. You gotta keep control of your money yourself in some way. You can't trust anybody else to do it, whether that's Celsius, BlockFi, or Strike, right? Just another example we were just talking about, Prime Trust Brand, like just self-custody. Everyone, like, I know we preach it, and I know Dave and Robin preach it on this channel all the time, but self-custody.
Hey man, speaking of self-custody, I wanna ask the chat. We know Ledger's the number one. A couple things. First thing, big shout out to Brokioshi, gifted 10 Sin City Crypto memberships. I mentioned this in the chat earlier. Brokioshi was our very first whale member. So going on a year. Thank you so much, my friend. Also, we had a $20 super chat from B Team Crypto. Said, thanks for holding down today, fellas. Y'all put in work, helps me stay informed while I'm putting in work at the Granite Shop. Respect to you, my friend. We put out the content. We're here for people like you, and we're happy you're enjoying it. And thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it. I want to get the chat's opinion, right? So Ledger's been the number one self-custody hardware wallet out there for a while now. I think everyone I talk to is like, yeah, it's self-custody. 99% of them like say Ledger, or at least Ledger's in their portfolio of hardware wallets. Do you guys still think Ledger is the best way to self-custody? Put a 1, yes, 2, no. 1, Ledger is still the best way to self-custody. 2, Ledger is still not. You lost trust. Okay, so I'm just curious to get the chat's opinion on this. While you guys do that, I'm going to do this. Apparently, Filecoin is a security. Bullish Kenny G, if you're in here, we're going to have a moment of silence for your Filecoin bag. The SEC warns that Filecoin meets definition of a security. What I don't get, what really, really annoys me is they refuse to they're okay with Algorand meets security standards. Filecoin meets security standards. This one meets security standards. But when you're like, how, why, where, when, who, what, they can't give us a damn answer. Like, well, we have our own formula to determine, well, what the hell is the formula? How can we figure it out? How can we decide and see eye to eye with you so we can not list these and not mess with them? They won't give that answer, but they continuously come out, this is a security. This meets definition of a security. But when asked time and time again, how are you determining what's a security? The laws have been in place since 1933. Man, I'm just sick and tired of it, man. So anyways, the SEC warns that Filecoin meets definition of a security. This is from Grayscale. U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has asked Grayscale to pull its application for a Filecoin trust, warning that its underlying asset Filecoin can be seen as a security. The firm initially lodged a Form 10 application with the regulator to launch an updated Filecoin trust product on April 14th, so a month ago. Grayscale said it received a comment letter from the SEC staff on May 16th, so about a month later, where regulator then warned that the File token meets the definition of a security under federal law and asked them to withdraw their application and for the trust product. They quote from Grayscale, Grayscale does not believe that Filecoin is a security under the federal securities laws and intends to respond promptly to the SEC staff with an explanation of the legal basis for Grayscale's position. Grayscale noted that it cannot predict whether or not the SEC will be persuaded into accepting this explanation and may seek accommodations for the registration of the trust. Maybe take them to court, which they already are, for their spot ETF denial. Alternatively, the investment firm warned that it may be forced to dissolve the trust in its entirety. Forrest, should we only be investing in like Bitcoin? Because that's the only thing the SEC has been confident in saying is a commodity. Should we be wary and cognizant of what tokens we have in our portfolios? Because if they're deemed a security and they're like, come in and register, and if it's a decentralized protocol or the project refuses to do that, we're gonna be screwed. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I don't think we should only be investing in just Bitcoin. I mean, I think the SEC has lost touch with reality, and the broader ecosystem of institutional and government entities has realized that. We've already seen the Chamber of Commerce come out and blast the SEC. Does it suck when he comes out and said when what's his face comes out and says Algorand and Filecoin is a security? He's also said that about Cardano and Solana and Ethereum, right? Or maybe not flat out said it, but implied it heavily and said that they are very likely securities. Pretty much come out and called Solana, Cardano, and Ethereum securities as well. Look, the market reacts to news in a very dampened way when it's the same news over and over again, right? So when Gary Gensler comes out and says that something's a security, the market already knows and has accepted the fact that Gary Gensler believes everything other than Bitcoin is a security. That's basically his stance that the market has accepted. So when he comes out and says Filecoin's a security or Algorand's a security or Cardano, Solana, Ethereum are a security, it's no new information. Yes, in this case, this one's been kind of singled out a little bit, and that's probably bad for today's price action. But ultimately, I don't believe there's precedent for Filecoin being a security. Look at you don't have to own Tesla stock to drive a Tesla or to buy a Tesla. You don't have to own Google stock to use Google search or any of Google's product. Same thing with Amazon. Same thing with all these other securities. With Filecoin, to my knowledge, you have to use the Filecoin. You have to buy and use Filecoin to use the Filecoin storage system. That is a commodity in my eyes. That is a commodity. Just like if you're wanting to build a house, you have to buy lumber, you use wood. If something's actually used, in my opinion, it's a commodity, or at least we should have a separate category entirely for kind of these crypto based commodities or crypto assets. No, I think yeah, there's risk in that. Gary Gensler singles out the altcoin that you hold a bag of, and you take a temporary hit because of it, but I think he's going to be hard pressed to take everything out, and he's going to be hard pressed to fight, Avalanche and Solana and Cardano. I mean, I don't see him suing. I don't see the SEC suing IOG, Input Output Global, and trying to take down Cardano and Charles Hoskinson anytime soon. But maybe he does, and it'll be an ongoing long-term battle. But I don't think it's any reason personally not to invest in altcoins.
Yeah, and I got the Filecoin chart here. So I got the Filecoin chart on the 1 hour. That big red candle, this happened at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And so we can only assume that this was part of this news article starting to make its rounds around social media, right? So the SEC, on one end, they're supposed to be for investor protection, but they're literally doing the opposite. And, I've come to the conclusion that we're either going to have to see a change. Gary Gensler is going to have to leave, or we're going to have to see a win in the Ripple case. A win, XRP is not a security. That's going to lay the groundwork. It'll be a landmark case. Then any other exchange or any other project can feel comfortable going to court against the SEC, and I'm sure, and I know not everyone has the money like Ripple does, but I'm sure in the space we can come up with some sort of fund. I mean, there's so many people in our space who are millionaires and billionaires. We can put a fund together knowing that, hey, there's a landmark case to fall back on, something similar where a judge already ruled it's not a security, that we can support some of these projects if they continue to be targeted by the SEC, or on the other end, the SEC loses and they continue to go after projects for the same thing. then now you have some of these politicians who don't like Gary Gensler, like Patrick McHenry, like Warren Davidson, who can now put Gary's feet to the fire and say, you are spending taxpayer money. We're not going to fund you anymore because you already lost the case and you're going after the same thing. And so I think those two things can happen. But we need this Ripple case to end favorably. I think it's gonna happen. So, all right, let's move on. Gala Games recently had their V2 token upgrade. And apparently they burned a crap load of those Gala tokens. Over $600 million worth of Gala tokens have been burned to source from Decrypt. Gala Games announced this week that it has removed or burned almost 21 billion Gala tokens after completing its V2 token airdrop, which is more than 637 million at the time of the burns, from its own reserves in an effort to reduce concerns surrounding a possible dump and exit scenario. The tokens we hold, this is a quote from Gala, the tokens we hold, we have received as ecosystem rewards over the last several years. While they have always been tokens we were to use to fund the growth and curation of the ecosystem, we know that many people see them as a fundamental risk to the overall tokenomics of the project. Yeah, one or two more things. There we go. At a fundamental level, we believe that if the ecosystem is going to work and be sustainable in the long term, we need to be able to live off the rewards we receive from the ecosystem as well, not have a gigantic pile of Gala we can dip into whenever, said Jason Brink, the CMO of Gala, which we've had on the show, which we look to bring on the show again. Forrest, is this a little odd? Hey, we're burning 21 billion tokens because we don't want people to think we're going to sell them off and dump on the market. Is this kind of odd to you?
Yeah. There's two ways to look at this. One is from a purely tokenomics perspective, there's $600 million worth of tokens that can no longer be sold on the open market. That reduces the circulating supply. That's bullish. At the same time, that's $600 million less, and with the liquidity, ratio, if they were to actually sell that, they wouldn't get $600 million out, but they could sell over a long period of time. And what they're essentially saying, though, by doing this, is that they are not good allocators of capital, because if you believed that you were if Gala was believing that they themselves were a good allocator of capital to grow the project, then they would want to use that $600 million worth of tokens to grow the project more than $600 million in sell pressure. It's an interesting take. I don't have all of the details on this, so maybe there were potentially other reasons. It's just that's a lot of a war chest. You don't see other you don't see Chainlink just burning their war chest.
We're going to burn $600 million that was supposed to be used for an ecosystem fund. Like, that's kind of weird. I'm sorry. That's just a little
the Ethereum
weird.
Foundation has a big war chest, and they sell. They recently sold like $60 million worth of ETH to cover some expenses. They've sold in previous bull markets, and that's used to fund the ecosystem. It kind of sucks when they sell, but it gives them the ability to grow and allocate capital towards growing the project. So this is definitely weird. Something about this.
Yeah, especially say the tokens we have received as ecosystem rewards, they have always been used to fund the growth and curation of the ecosystem. We know that many people see them as a fundamental risk to the tokenomics of the project. For me, it's like, okay, you had a plan to use this money to grow the ecosystem, but a lot of people are saying, oh, you have all this money, you're going to dump it on the market, so we're going to listen to those people and burn $600 million. I find that very strange. And I also, and I'm being completely honest here, it makes me a little worried that these people made this decision. Because if I'm trusting, and I know we have one person in here who's got a crap load of money in Gala, and I would be concerned, like, okay, people are saying they're afraid you're going to dump, so you're just going to burn $600 million of money you were supposed to spend in your ecosystem. I'd love to ask that question to Jason Brink when he comes back on the show, because we're going to bring him back on the show. And I'll flat out be like, hey, man, I don't understand this move. It doesn't make, I don't know, man. It's like, I get it. The trust is lost in the space, but it's like you've been around for a long time. You're a top project. You're one of the leaders in the gaming, in the Web3 gaming. You just had your V2. I get it. Your tokenomics have been under fire, but I don't know. To me, it's a little odd. It's a little concerning, but I'd love to get more clarity before I'm like, no, this is a bad investment. So yeah. You got anything else you want to add to this story for us, or any thoughts that kind of came to?
The only thing I could maybe think of is maybe they're under regulatory scrutiny behind the scenes for owning so much of the supply, and maybe their hand was forced. There's stuff, there's clarity that we don't have behind the scenes. That could be a reason, but honestly, if for $600 million, I just move to a different country where you don't have that regulatory scrutiny. But we'll see. That's the only other thing I can think of.
Yeah. And if we get more clarity on this or whatever, and I'll speak more, but on face value, it's a little odd. All right. So let's move on to one of the leading layer 2s for Ethereum. Optimism's major Bedrock upgrade is set for June 6th. So what is this upgrade? Their highly anticipated Bedrock upgrade. The move is expected to result in significantly reduced transaction fees, provide greater network security, and enhance compatibility with Ethereum. The Optimism team stated via a May 15 Twitter thread that the network would be down for 2 to 4 hours on June 6th as the upgrade goes live. I think I have one more thing highlighted here. Yep. Adding to that, the network will also see shorter deposit times, with Optimism going from roughly 10 minutes to confirm a deposit to just 3. So pretty big there. While node software performance will be slightly improved by enabling execution of several transactions in a single rollup block, as opposed to the prior 1 transaction per block model in the previous version. Now, I did want to bring up their tokenomics here, just because we're talking about Optimism. I know a few of our people have money in Optimism. Something to be careful of, guys. Optimism is bleeding $4.3 million a day in token unlocks. Close to 70% of their total tokens are still locked. That's never good for investment, in my opinion. And if we take a look here as well, I'm going to zoom in here to their vesting schedule. Guys, we're coming up the beginning of June. So June 5th, we are going to start seeing these ones here, and I'm going to uncheck these. We're going to start seeing these tokens here. Core contributors and investors, approximately 1.5 billion tokens will start to get unlocked, with it massively ramping up towards the end of 2024, beginning of 2025. And this thing doesn't start to cliff off until 2026. So Forrest, everything I just talked about, the upgrade, the tokenomics, is Optimism an investable token, or something you feel comfortable holding in your portfolio moving into the next 1 or maybe even 2 bull markets?
Not for me. I am bullish on layer 2 scalability as a general, we're seeing a lot of investment in it. We're seeing a lot of these layer 2s being deployed successfully. We're seeing TVL flow onto these layer 2s. But if you look at Arbitrum, you look at Optimism, you look at even Polygon, you've got a ton of competition, especially now with Polygon ZK EVM. You've got ZK Sync. You have a ton of these layer 2s that are fracturing liquidity across the board, and then most of their tokenomics, when it comes to Optimism and Arbitrum, are quite bad in terms of a lot of structural sell pressure coming in from these supply unlocks. So for me personally, it's not an investable niche within crypto, even though I am bullish on the proliferation of it in the general growth, but actually placing a bet. I just feel like there's a lot of horses in this race, and most of those horses have really bad token unlocks. I don't know another analogy to say token unlocks for a horse, but yeah,
I'm a fan of horses.
Not for me, and it's not there will be winners. There will definitely be winners in this space, but I will happily sit on the sidelines and not reap those rewards, because the risk for me is a little too high.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, and I know they're making improvements to it, to the layer 2, but I mean there's just so many good projects out there. And the token unlock thing, I mean, from an investment standpoint, you just look at numbers and facts. I mean, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing that 70% of the tokens are still locked. It's not a good thing that a majority of those unlocks are over the next, by June, is going to be from investors and core contributors, which sell off, right? Investors, they invest money to make money. They're going to be like, oh yeah, I like the token, I'm just going to hold. No, their goal is to make money. So definitely going to see some sell off there. All right, guys, that'll do it for the show today. Before we leave, another quick shout out to channel sponsor. Today's live show was brought to you by Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you'd like more information, feel free to go over to bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Guys, today's show was fun. A lot of good content information. We checked in with Rob a few times. We saw some of your potential favorite content creators in the space. You had me and Forrest spitting some straight knowledge. You had Rocco was making a cappuccino in the back.
It's a difficult
Very nice,
cappuccino.
a cappuccino.
All the cable moving.
I never knew what a dry cappuccino was until I went to Starbucks with Rocco. Now I know.
They didn't even know what it was, a dry cappuccino.
I didn't know. Do you know what a dry cappuccino is, Forrest?
I don't, but I'm like 5 seconds away from Googling it.
Don't Google it. Rocco will tell you, or I'll tell you. It's cappuccino with just foam, no milk, nothing, just dry as.
No, you gotta explain it right.
Okay,
you got a double espresso shot.
Okay.
And foam. That's it.
With a spoon. Spoon is important. Can't forget the spoon.
You gotta mix it, and then of course, it's very important.
Man, guys, if you enjoy the show today, tomorrow we're gonna have more of the same. We're gonna have Rob checking in from Miami. Tomorrow is General Mission Day, so we're gonna get a lot more people. All the speakers are gonna be there. You have Congress people that are there, politicians. You have Michael Saylor, Jack Mallers, Max Kaiser might come on and say something crazy. You never know who this man is gonna run into. And I've known Robin for a while. Dude is not afraid to go up to anyone and be like, hey, join our live show real quick for 5 minutes. So it should be fun. Obviously, we'll have Forrest joining us tomorrow again. Also, go check out Forrest. If you're not following him on Twitter, for the love of God, do yourself a favor. The man puts out amazing threads, great content on there at 00Forrest. That's Forrest with 2 R's. Also, if you want more TA or insight from Forrest, go visit his channel on YouTube, Sistine Research. Also, go follow us on social media. We're at Sin City Crypto 1 on Twitter, other social media platforms. Every single link you can think of to get more Sin City Crypto content or to support the channel is in the description of this video. What were you saying?
Definitely, if you want to check some picture from Big Rob in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
So go check it, the Twitter.
Yeah. We're most active on Twitter. We're going to start getting more active here on these other channels more as well as we grow. But and also, we have a merch store, not just Sin City merch, but XRP merch, Cardano merch. What about Solana merch? Rocco, should we do Solana, or you think the community is not big enough?
I don't know. We can do Solana. Yeah, I mean,
just curious.
I just did some new T-shirt with the Bitcoin shrimp and then all the ranking.
Do you have it pulled up?
No, I did not. But
Here, let's pull it up.
So I did pretty much only missing the whale, the shark, and the amp one. So, but you get if you are a shrimp.
Here we go. Pull up my laptop.
Okay, let's see.
These ones, right?
Yeah, that's the one. So you get all the dolphin, octopus. Yeah, you get it all.
Oh, you know what you should do, Rocco? I don't know. Robin makes fun of me all the time because I bring ideas live on the show.
No, it's okay.
You know the chart I showed where it gives you a shrimp, whale, how many Bitcoin you got to hold? You should do one like that, like a nutrition fact.
Okay.
Here, I'll show you.
There is the nutrition one too, yeah.
Yeah, here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I think that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up right now. The mac and cheese.
The mac and cheese. That mac and cheese was bad.
Yeah, that was right here.
Okay.
Like just kind of like
just like that.
Yeah,
we can do that.
Yeah, just like this.
Yeah,
kind of make it a fun. I think that'd be pretty cool. I would buy one of those.
I got pretty much all the graphic ready, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because
also, if you do a Solana one, I feel like my friend Forrest would buy one, or we'd buy him one. So.
I can make it.
Guys, that'll do it for the show today. Rocco, you know what time it is, baby.
No,
actually,
what time is it?
Forrest, would you like to finger tornado us out of here?
Or if you insist.
Yeah, Forrest, would you like to finger tornado us out of here? Or would you like to watch me do it one more time and you can do it tomorrow?
We can do it together.
I think I believe in you, man. I think you can tornado us out of here, bro. Please, do the honors.
All right, everyone. It was a pleasure. Tune back in tomorrow, Friday. Let's go.
It was good.
Enjoy the song. Compliments of Cassius Couvé. Big shout out. Thank you guys. See you tomorrow. Peace.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the whale members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon, then to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.